Well, guys, here I sit out in my truck waiting for the snow to start falling. Actually, I'm out in the truck because it's cold outside. It's in the low 20s right now, and there's a wind blowing that makes it feel even colder than what it actually is. But still, get the low 20s is pretty cold in and of itself trying to make a video outdoors. So I decided to make it inside my truck here. The last time I did this, someone complained that they didn't like videos of me in my truck, that it destroyed my credibility somehow, sitting in my vehicle. I don't know what to expect. I guess they thought I should be in a Fox News studio maybe or something. I don't know, but this is just me here talking to you on YouTube. I don't know how being in my truck would discredit and destroy my credibility. Anyway, right now, for my region, it's supposed to start snowing tomorrow morning. I think about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And it's supposed to snow all through the day into the evening. And depending on where you are, you're supposed to get, different accumulations, obviously. Some people will get more, some people will get less, some may get ice. But where I am right here, right now, they're saying 3 to 6 inches here where I am. That won't be that bad as long as it doesn't have ice. If we have sleet, if we have accumulation of ice on the roads and then snow on top of that, that could definitely cause some major issues as far as driving goes. It could also cause, the trees to weight over it, the weight of the ice, and go across the power lines. It cause the power lines to get weighted down and cause electricity to go out, power outages. So it could definitely get hairy. Let's hope that it don't. Let's hope that everyone makes it through unscathed and is stocked up on things they need and stay home for a few days, not be out on the roads driving, because, like I said, it could be very dangerous, especially if we have ice, sleet first, and then snow on top of that. And that's probably what we'll get. It's what usually goes. Hopefully not. But here in my county, there was a update put out by the local newspaper. Update: with a winter storm watch in effect for the entire region, a bread warning has been issued for all of blank county. Effective immediately and continuing through 9 a.m. Monday, plan ahead for empty bread shelves and empty milk coolers at your favorite grocery. And I went today and stopped at the store and was looking around a little bit, and the bread definitely is about gone. I saw some milk, but the bread was about gone. Everything else is pretty stocked, it looked like, but the bread is always the first to go for some reason. And it's gotten so bad that the local newspaper has actually issued a warning, no bread warning for this area. That's how people has went out and bought, all the bread, water and milk, pop, things like that, beer. People buy things like that and stocks it in. And if there's even a hint of a winter storm, people goes out and picks up, all that stuff. Now, can you imagine what would happen if something, a major issue happened and people knew they couldn't go to the store for 2 or 3 months, or they knew there's going to be really bad shortages of everything? Can you imagine how many people would converge, in the supermarkets and would empty those shelves out very quickly? There would be fights, there would be shootings and everything else over a loaf of bread. I mean, people would go absolutely insane if they knew it was going to be, a long-term type thing where no supplies are going to be coming in, and they had to go out and get what they needed now. I mean, it would get violent very, very quickly. I mean, people would be pulling out the firearms and giving each other a good old popping with one of these things. Or maybe they'd use one of these. But anyway, it would definitely get violent. So that's why it's important to be stocked up on, what you need now. Get all your supplies ready, because just something like this can cause major issues. And it's difficult to stock up on bread because it goes bad quickly. You need to put some in the freezer or something like that. It lasts a lot longer. However, if it's a long term, you're better off to have the stuff put back so you can bake your own bread. Because, like I said, it's difficult to store that back. This is in the freezer, and then it's full of all kinds of other stuff you don't need. But if you can have your own wheat, and you can make your own wheat bread, your own grinders, you can make that from the wheat berry and bake your own bread. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Have you noticed that we aren't hearing anything about closing the border up now? I haven't heard anything about closing the border up in days, it doesn't seem like. Maybe I've missed it. Maybe y'all heard, Trump saying something about closing the border. saying something about rounding up all these illegals and sending them back across and building the wall. I've not heard anything about that in a while. What I've been hearing is about making Mexico part of the United States. So why would you need a wall if Mexico's going to be part of the United States? Same thing with Canada. So what happened to all the promises of closing the border up and building a wall and sending people, rounding people up and sending those people back? What happened? Did he change his mind? I mean, was it just a political ploy to get people to support and to vote for him? I don't know. What do you all think? I know what was said during the campaign has completely changed now to something completely different. The things he was talking about then, I'm not hearing anything about it now, mainly about closing the border up and rounding these people up that came over here illegally and sending those people back to where they came from. I'm not hearing that now. It's like it's made a complete turnaround with the policy. All I'm hearing now is we're going to take Canada and we're going to make Mexico part of the United States. We're going to take Greenland. We're going to do this and that. What's actually going on? I mean, what's it actually going to be? Is it? It's extraordinary. It really is. Personally, I know a lot of y'all are going to get pissed off, as they always do. Anytime I mention anything about Donald Trump, and I voted for Donald Trump. I've said that in a video here before the election, obviously. And I talked about voting for Donald Trump because I hoped he would close the border up. But it don't look like it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to be opened up completely now if what he's saying is factual, going to make Mexico part of the United States somehow or something. And I don't know how it's going to work, but that's what's being said now, and that's all in the news. So is it just rhetoric? Is it just talking points? Is it just trying to play 5D chess or what is it? I mean, I don't know. But I'm not hearing anything about building that wall. I'm not hearing anything about getting all these people rounded up and sent back. But what I think, and like I said, I know people get pissed off. They always do. You can't even question anything about Donald Trump. It's like you're talking about Jesus Christ. It's like you're blaspheming against God himself when you talk about Donald Trump with some of these people. You can't even ask a question. You can't even say, well, this policy actually worked. Because if you do, people will get mad. It's absolutely, I mean, it is something the way people do over this political landscape here. Republican, Democrat, Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah. And they get mad so easily. But I think that the elections, especially at the presidential level, are rigged. They put who they want to in. And I know a lot of y'all are going to say, ain't no way they wanted Donald Trump in, blah, blah, blah. Some people didn't, but a lot of people did. If you look at who he picked for his vice presidential running mate, J.D. Vance. If you trace J.D. Vance back, Peter Thiel funded J.D. Vance. Peter Thiel made J.D. Vance. Put lots of money behind him. And who is Peter Thiel? He's over Palantir. They spy on people, pretty much what it is for the deep state. Peter Thiel is a board member, a high-ranking board member of the Bilderberg Group. And, you know, most of us who've been looking at this for a long time in this political landscape, talking about the New World Order and the globalists and things, know the Bilderberg Group is a big part of that. I mean, that's some of the most powerful people right there that meets in secret to decide presidents, to decide what's going to happen in the next year. And he is a high-ranking member. And he backed the vice president. We have Elon Musk, you know, the guy that wants to put a brain chip in your head. Another government contractor. Has made billions from government contracts. All supporting Donald Trump. And there's been others too that's, you know, if you look back at some of the things like Donald Trump has, in his first term, he talked about Henry Kissinger being a great guy, how he was a mentor, how he learned so much from Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger was a swamp creature, deep state himself. So really, I know it's going to piss a lot of people off. And that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion, just like I am. But there's no need to get pissed off. You know, we all have our opinions, we all have our thoughts. And this is my opinion and my thoughts. What I think is that Donald Trump wants to be president so badly. He knew it was all rigged. He figured that out after the first term and after his second election. And when he lost the second one, he figured out that it was all rigged, that it was all predetermined. And he went and he made a deal, the art of the deal. And he made a deal with these globalists like Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, some of these Bilderbergers, to let him be president again, and he would do certain things for them when he got to be president. That's pretty obvious to me, because it makes sense, because we all know that the elections are rigged. They put who they want to in. And I said before it happened, about 4 days before that, that he would win by the popular vote and by the electoral vote. He would win by at least 10% of the popular vote. That's exactly what happened. And everyone in the comments, no way, the deep state's not going to let Donald Trump win this election. No way, not going to happen. It's all rigged. But then as soon as Donald Trump come back and he won, they're all like, yay, we got it. It wasn't rigged this time. Yeah, it was, in my opinion. They're all rigged. That's just the way that it works. And I know I can already see people clicking off and going away. But this is my opinion. And if you look at what I'm saying, it makes a lot of sense, I think. Because you make a deal. You make a deal with these people. You give them what they want. Like the North American NAFTA. We talked about that before, but this is going to be like NAFTA on steroids we're talking about now. And that would be something that the globalists would want. You know, Canada, Mexico, all being opened up like into one country. All that free trade and everything, all that free labor and stuff, because they can make billions with their corporations and their companies. And we saw Israel supporting Donald Trump, heavily supporting Donald Trump. So are they expecting to get something in return, like maybe a war on Iran to take out their biggest competitor in the region? Quite possibly. So I think deals are made. Deals are made so he gets to be president, again. One more term, he wanted it again, and he made the deals. And he knew how it was going to work, and he got put in. And everyone will say, well, what about all these court cases and all these criminal charges and things? You notice that none of them stuck. He wasn't convicted of anything. And if the actual deep state wanted Donald Trump in prison, he'd be in prison. If they wanted him, he would be. Definitely. But people just don't see it. When it's right in front of their face, they just don't see it. We had Kennedy. He went up against the deep state, the CIA, the deep state, and his head exploded. They can put you down, put you out, put you in prison. They can put you in the office of the president, or they can keep you from going in. Major powers. People who actually run the world. And I think a deal was made to be president again. He may do some things that he's promised, and I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not saying that he won't. What I'm saying is that we know that these elections have been rigged, and everyone is saying that before. All the people now that are saying that it wasn't rigged, that we just won fair and square by a landslide, were saying before there's no way Donald Trump would win because it was all rigged, it was all predetermined. And the same people now has completely changed their tune, right the opposite. Whereas they were saying before, that it was all rigged, predetermined, no way Trump could win, they weren't going to let Trump win. But then when he got in office, they're like, yeah. Does that make any sense to you? Really? They let Joe Biden go in, and that was all part of the plan. They let Joe Biden go in, had the border wide open, all these illegals come through, and to spend, print, send money to Ukraine, because Joe Biden wasn't really doing anything. He's completely brain dead pretty much. And he was put in on purpose to push the globalist agenda, the Great Reset, the New World Order, this one world government. And then people were so sick of him that they knew that him or Harris going in again would upset people greatly. So then you had to have a Republican. If you notice in these elections, you always have a Democrat, Republican. Usually it's Democrat for 8 years, Republican for 8 years, Democrat 8 years, Republican for 8 years. The people get sick of the Democrats, get sick of their policies, and the people will get to just the point of actually doing something, and there'll be an election, and we'll get a Republican to come in. And then the Republicans stay in for 8 years, and the people get sick of that Republican, get sick of the policies, and get sick of all the spending and the wars and things, and they want something different. And right when people get ready to do something, another election, a Democrat to go in. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to Jones Plantation. And there might be a few little things that change, a little few different policies, but all the main agenda, everything keeps going forward, all this main agenda. We've been going toward this one world government, this great reset for a long time, and they're picking it up now. And in my opinion, Donald Trump going in office is all part of the plan. I know that I'm going to catch hell in the comments, but that's my opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion. Do I know this to be a fact? No, but it definitely looks like it. I mean, if you look at everything, if you just look like I said at the elections, everyone is saying that it's all rigged, no way Donald Trump can win, they're going to let him win, and then when he wins, people's like, yeah, it's legit. He wasn't placed in there. Does that make any sense to you? It doesn't to me, but maybe you're right and I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below, why you're right and why I'm wrong. And what am I wrong about? Now, I'm entitled to my opinions like you are. As long as you keep it respectful in the comments, you can post your comment. But if you go in the comments and start insulting, calling names and things like that, then you'll get banned. But if you go in and you give me your opinion and tell me why, then you're fine. Your comment will stay up. Just don't be insulting. Don't be rude. Think logically. And put something logical in the comments. Logical. Think and put something logical in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully.